I could have a little wish now. Oh, hello, Crafty. I wish that AD would get compensation. I wish that. Don't you worry, Al. I've got your back. We've had our differences over the years. Not going to deny that.
I had decided to shelve this video and not do it, and I'm actually making an amended version of it because there were some things that have been brought to light that some new things that I discovered that I wanted to include, but this is an amended version. I thought, what's the point of me giving my 2 cents? Is it really needed? No. Val has done some very, very good videos. Scott has done his video. Other people have done videos. Why do I need to weigh in when it's not really, I'm kind of like past it anyway now. But then I thought, well, some people were asking me when the video is coming out and wanting me to, they wanted to know my opinion. Michael Shaw used to do that when he was here. He wanted to know my opinion. I actually miss hearing from him. I really do. Even though I used to joke that, he didn't really like me at all, but he liked to hear my opinions. We used to like have a back and forth between us when it came to AD and stuff like that. But, I miss the guy. I do miss him. So this is what I learned. You see, I'm watching so many different things. I've got so many things that I like to do outside of YouTube. And I'm kind of like just not feeling YouTube, doing YouTube right now. I want to take a bit of a break. But I decided in the end that I would put out this video. And I'm just reading what AD had to say in response to all of this. And I'm just going to read a part of it. Oh, I had to turn that off. That's my blow heat, just in case you heard. Not blowtorch. My team and I put together hundreds of pages of evidence. Yeah, I doubt that. Evidence of what? Proof that supported my defense and counterclaim. But in the end, none of it mattered. The judge never even read it. I was defeated on a civil procedure CPR technicality. Well, I agree with AD on that point. But if you don't have, as I understand it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't have proper representation, then you're not going to win anything. And all of this is based on a technicality, because I also agree that AD doesn't really have the funds to pay anything. So I think for me, as an overall summary, did they ever meet in a courtroom? Remember I used to say AD and Frankie will never meet in the courtroom because AD's not going to turn up. Did that ever happen? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it did. But anyway, it's not about right, wrong, and I'm not really into that right now. It's not what's important. I think what's important is that at least he's been held accountable for something. Even if he doesn't pay a single solitary dime to the Rzukeks, which he probably never will, at least he's been held accountable in a court of law, and at least that YouTube channel doesn't exist anymore. And I'll always wonder why or who or how that got removed. But I think the important thing is the principle of the matter. It's a principle of it all, that he was held accountable, but he never had proper representation. He never gave a proper defense, so he never had any chance. It's basically like he never participated in his own lawsuit, or so-called lawsuit. So no one's going to win anything, but I hope that Frankie feels some semblance of victory, because he has been through a lot, and I will speak about this later in the podcast. At least he's been held accountable in some kind of legal way. But yeah, AD never had proper representation. He doesn't have the funds. He never participated in this at all. I think he did a Zoom meeting. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He did one Zoom meeting and I don't think AD and Frankie ever met in court. So it's basically a one-sided case. And as AD has said here, which I agree with, one on a technicality, but nothing is ever going to be won monetarily as far as I'm concerned. And, AD does a lot of whining about how he has all this evidence and for his counterclaim and how he's a sympathetic figure. And we all knew that AD was going to do that. That's AD. He will never take accountability for his own actions because he doesn't have empathy. AD is all about AD, and that's who he is. He will never ever be about anything other than himself. It's all about him. He will never apologize. And if he does make an apology, which I doubt he ever will, he will never really mean it. AD cares about AD. AD cares about what he can get, what he can gain, what he can earn. And that's what AD cares about. He doesn't have the empathy that a regular person or a normal person has. And like I did tell you, Bam was very much adored AD and wished that he would get compensation. I wish he was here to see that he didn't and that he never will. When I just said that no one's going to win anything, I don't mean the technical win. I mean no one's going to win any money. They're not going to get a big payout, which I would actually like that. Despite all that I've said in the past, I would love it if AD was made to pay the Rzuceks $500,000. I'd be quite happy with that, but that's a fantasy dream, and that will never happen. That will never happen. So spring is upon us, although I don't see it as spring officially until the 1st of April, because the coldest day I've ever experienced in this country was March the 1st, 2018. It was so cold that day, colder than any Christmas day I've ever experienced since I've been here. It was the coldest March on record, apparently. So it's the beginning of spring officially, but I don't see it as spring until April. However, spring is upon us, and I'm not happy about it because I'm an autumn winter girl, and the fact that warmer weather is coming means I'm going to have to get fly spray, ant spray and all that, and I just don't like that. But I do like the fresh look of spring. I do love flowers. I love all that. I'm currently watching Meghan Markle's Netflix show, and I know a lot of people don't like Meghan Markle, and people are panning the show because it's fashionable to dislike Meghan Markle, isn't it? But I'm very, very much enjoying it. Very much enjoying it. I also watched the Gabby Petito documentary on Netflix, which I very much enjoyed. And I'll talk about that in another podcast. I was going to put and include some revelations in this. Is it revelations or revelations? I was going to put some things in this podcast that were kind of exclusive, and I was going to tell you what Bam really thought of people. I was gonna do that, but I decided that it wasn't really appropriate and that I would stick to the topic at hand. But yeah, I wish the Rzuceks well. I'm glad they no longer have to deal with Bam anymore and some of the other people. And I really hope that Frankie is getting a good sleep at night, because he used to stay up really late. There was one time I was talking to Frankie and it was 3:00 in the morning. I said, Frankie, go to sleep. But yeah, there is part of me that's happy for them, even though I don't see this court case in the conventional sense. There was no real trial. You have AD who didn't really participate, but I am happy that in the legal sense, he has been held accountable to an extent. There has been some extent of victory, and I wish the Rzuceks well, and I apologize for participating in anything that may have upset them, and I apologize to Frankie for anything that I've done in the past that may have upset him. But my heart was never as black or as dark as Bam's was. Never had the dislike for the Ruzeks or the R's that Bam did. And I really do wish them well. And there's lots of things that I'm going to talk about on my channel and as the weeks and months approach, and there's things I'm going to reveal, but it's not appropriate to do that on this time. So this is my 2 cents, and I wish the Ruzeks well, and I hope that they're happy. I really do.